It's the football countdown. Who'll be champions? Who'll be going down? Who's the top scorer? Who'll be getting the Playmaker award? And of course, who will finish in the Europa Conference? Nobody cares. Hello, this is the bumper video, isn't it? It is what you've been waiting for. It's my Premier League predictions for the 2021 to 22 season. It's going to be a really special one. So stay tuned, smash that like button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a video. I've seen that a massive 70% of you are not subscribed. So what are you doing? Click that notification bell, join in the cool gang of that 30% because it's got to be done over the busy football season, which is nearly upon us. And I'm busy myself, but I'll try and get out as much content as possible with the time that I've got. And this is the big one. It is, what am I saying for the season? Who's going to get relegated? Who's going to win the league? And all that juicy stuff. So if you do go on to enjoy it, then, smash a like on it. And also comment your predictions for the overall season as well. It's going to be a really good one. And also, as part of this video, I'm going to be doing a section which is called, Can I be successful in predicting every single scorer across a Premier League season? You think, surely not, but maybe. Let's give it a punt. I'm not going to say the scores because it kind of ruins my predictions, but if you really care that much, you could always count up the amount of goals for each team, but it's really not that important. It's about who am I saying are the scorers. And I might change the actual score predictions, but at the end of the day, the scores and the scorers are kind of mutually exclusive. When I say that, I mean that I might change who I'm saying to get the goals, but I probably won't change the scoreline. But that doesn't mean that, by the end of the season, I'll definitely stick with that scoreline. So just go with the flow at this point. But what we were going to do, which I was thinking about, but I might actually do it this way as well, is do a slideshow. But I wanted to kind of get interactive and let you guys see me do this video. So therefore, we're going to do it on our iPod. We've got a slideshow, and there I will be showing you my table, and I'll go through team by team. As well as the table, I'm also going to be going through some obviously transfer reactions, and just reviewing also the match that happened yesterday, or actually Saturday I should say, in the Community Shield final. Leicester City 1, Man City 0. Nice little upset there, although do I really call Leicester the upsets kings these days? Not really. They're just one of the best teams out there, and they were fantastic. Probably did deserve it. Man City were pretty, average, and it wasn't the best of finals, but, Iheanacho got the goal, slot home penalty, absolute limbs in the 89th minute, and yeah, interesting result, that one. But this is going to be a really good one, I think. It's going to get a lot of views, hopefully. And yeah, share it to all your friends, of course, coming into this new Premier League season. So what are we going to do first? Should we do the table first, or should we do the top scorers and things like that? I think we're going to do the table first. I think that's the best way to start, and then we'll kind of go on from there, really. So let me just get it up for you people, and then we will be good to go. And also remember that soon I'll be doing my Premier League Week 1 score predictions. Make sure you predict down there in the comment section, and we'll try and set up some sort of a predictions league for the new season, where I tally all your predictions and see how well you did. The scoring system I'm feeling this season is going to be 1 point for the correct result, and then it's going to be 3 points for the result and the goal difference. So say you said 1-0 and it's 2-1. And then we're also going to go with 5 points for the correct scoreline. I think it just keeps it nice and simple, and there's nothing wrong with that scoring system. So that's what we're going to go for. But yeah, hold tight on that video. But let's get into the big bit of this video, and that is, of course, that lovely little table. So I'm going to show you my table all at once because I haven't got the means to reveal it line by line. But let me just explain to you each stage of the process, basically, as I'm explaining it. And then we will go from there, basically. We're going to start from the bottom. I think a lot of, YouTubers do that. It's a good way to go. And at the end of the day, we don't want to kind of get ahead ourselves and think, oh yeah, let's just predict who's going to win the league, because that kind of is the crescendo, I suppose. So Let's see how well you can see this, guys. But let me just try and show it to you. Can we zoom in a bit on that? Is that possible? Right. That is struggling to be seen right now. But that's fine, because what we can do is we can access it elsewhere, and then we shall get it all ready. So let's just redo that, and then we shall be good to go. Actually, I might just retake it, because it might not actually work this way, so it just makes sense to do it already. Okay, here we go. So what we're saying for the bottom club in the table. Now, I do feel like there's going to be a lot of shocks in this season. I don't know why. I've just got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric, and I'm not Justin Timberlake. So, 20th place, as you can see right there, my people. We're going for a team with 7 wins. That's right, 7. We're also going for a team with 1 draw, a single draw, and as you saw there, 30 defeats. It is going to be a stinker of a season for this team. They're going to get 57 goals in the back of the net. They're going to concede a whopping 71. What an absolute stinker. And that means they have a minus 14 goal difference. And that team, my friends, is, just as you can see there, BRE, which is Brentford. Now, my reason for that is I just don't think Brentford's style of play is going to work. Alright, you saw with Leeds how they kind of took it forward and they were bold, they were exciting, but I just worry that there's a whole group of squad there that are not proven in the Premier League. They just aren't up to the pace of it. They're up to the pace of the Championship. They've been consistently performing at a high level in the Championship, and they deserved to get to the Premier League. But, you know, when I look at their window, I just don't see a lot of superstars and, you know, signings that are going to get them out of that trouble. And I think if Ivan Toney doesn't go off the ground running, then they could be in for a real trouble. Even if Toney does do well, you can't rely all on one man. So, you know, I think Brentford need goals elsewhere. I think the defensive situation with them is also a problem because, you know, in the centre-back role, you've got basically Championship centre-backs. There's no word of a lie. These players have got no Premier League experience. So I just worry that Brentford will maybe take it a little bit too easy. That seems a bit silly to say, but at least they won't play in the way that other Premier League teams are now used to, which is actually treating an opposition in a more combated way, and actually they'll go into every game now kind of a little bit naive, a little bit unsure of the best way to kind of get at these teams like your Leeds and your Evertons and your Aston Villas that Brentford, you know, haven't been playing in the last few seasons. So though I think that Brentford, you know, with Ivan Toney in their team and their attacking style could do well, I just feel they haven't strengthened enough in the transfer window. And, you know, Thomas Frank is a good coach, but I just don't think he's up for it when he's got so many big managers to contest with in this season. As I said, I think Brentford could be a surprise package. We saw with, you know, teams like Wolves and Sheffield United in that first season that they really did well to kind of have that attacking style, and we saw that with Leeds last season. But with that comes risks, and I think that it won't, you know, work this time for Brentford, unlike Leeds, and they will concede a whopping ugly total of 71 goals. And that means they will finish on 22 points, in my opinion, which is a very poor season for the 20th finished team. I'm pretty sure that's similar to what bottom of the table Sheffield United got last season, but I might be wrong with that one. Next up, 19th. What are we saying? We're going for a team that, in my opinion, will, in fact, have another stinker of a season. They will also get 7 wins. And they will also get 1 draw. It's almost identical to Brentford at this point. 30 losses, of course. So who is that team going to be, my friends? It is Burnley. That's right, Sean Dyche's Burnley. And before the Clarets fans start slating me, you look at your squad, man. Come on. Right now, that is a Championship quality squad. Nick Pope probably won't start because they've brought in Wayne Hennessy. You've got Tarkowski that wants to go to Leicester. You've got Chris Wood and then Ashley Barnes. and then Dwight McNeil. That's basically it for that Burnley team. And Hennessy could play. Then you've got ageing centre-backs. You've got full-backs who are a bit injury-prone. And I just don't think there are enough attacking options at Burnley. You know, your Brownhills, your even Josh Benson. I think he might have gone out on loan actually, but they just don't fill me with confidence. And they just about saved up, you know, their courage and their points to stay up last season. But that was basically because of Chris Wood. And if he doesn't get into form, if Burnley can't find a way to make these signings, I just think that they're going to really struggle against the quality that everyone else has brought in. So, yeah, I think Burnley will have a stinker of a season, I'm afraid to say. They have been an established Premier League team recently under Sean Dyche, a legendary manager. But I just think, you know, despite his style of play, the players that he's brought into that football club, whether that's not been with enough money or a lack of investment. There was talk about a Burnley takeover, but they just haven't really made many signings to catch your eye. And I think it's difficult because Burnley, as a club, you're not going to attract, you know, the best players. So I think they need to kind of rethink this season and try and just build a bit more and try and just make a few more upsets. We saw in the 17-18 season they had quite a good campaign. You know, Chelsea opening day win, and they can beat those kind of sides. But that kind of doesn't feel like it's the case these days. And I'm going to say that they struggle, and I think they'll do a bit of a Sheffield United. They'll be a bit of a surprise relegated team, but I just don't see enough quality in that side right now. So therefore, I think 55 goals for the Clarets, and I think they will concede a total of 54. So that means they have a positive goal difference, and yet they are relegated to the Championship, +1, and they're also getting 22 points. In 18th place, we've gone for the team that is... Oh, it's Norwich City. Sorry, Norwich fans. Sorry, Daniel Farke. I'm just not feeling it for the Canaries. And fair enough, they did kind of have a great campaign last season. They got the title. They were dominant. But I just worry that Norwich are one of those teams. They're not strong enough for the Premier League, but they're too good for the Championship. And there's always this in between. They can't quite bridge that gap to the Prem. And it's a worry because defensively, do I look at that team and get filled with confidence? No. Max Aarons, how they've kept hold of him, I don't know, but they've done well to do that. Up front, you know, Teemu Pukki, alright, he had a really good start to the 1920 season, but then he really trailed off. And that is a problem because he's one of their main players. If he's not performing, then Norwich are really in trouble. And they brought in Milo Rashica, who is supposed to be this Buendia replacement, but the selling of Buendia is going to massively hurt Norwich, I think. And I just generally believe that they haven't got enough defensive solidity. Alright, they brought in Angus Gunn, but he's probably not going to start every week. It'll probably be Tim Krul, if fit. And I just worry that they're not kind of, right now, looking at a solid season. You know, fair enough if Norwich go on to score loads of goals, but right now, I've got nothing to suggest that in a Premier League campaign, that's what they would do. Billy Gilmore's a good signing. I think he certainly will be a player looking to prove a point, get those minutes into his legs, and you know show why he's still a great top 6 quality player. So in that respect, it's a bit of a steal and it's a good signing. But I just don't feel like they've got enough attacking threat. Cantwell, it's a bit dodgy. So I'm going to say they get relegated, but I think it will be very, very tight between Norwich and the team I've got in 17th. So I think that Norwich actually will end up winning 9 games with 2 draws and 27 losses. So not quite as bad as the other 2 relegated teams, but still a stinker of a season. 42 goals and 70 conceded. So that's a minus 28 goal difference. Not that good for Norwich City at all. And 29 points. So who is going to be the lucky team to stay in the Premier League? We're going for my boys in the background, Watford. Come on, you Warns. I've got all faith that we're going to stay up, but it's going to be a massive, massive task. There's no doubting a team that gets promoted from the Championship, getting in that Premier League and staying there is the most difficult bit. And we don't have right now the investment to look at someone like Leeds and match their ability from last season. What we do have is a solid unit of players that are united by team spirit. They've got very solid defence from last season. Obviously, it's a very different story playing against these Premier League quality players, but we've got this togetherness right now. We're coming off the high of a really good promotion in a season that had a lot of ups and downs. We kind of defied the odds by coming together at the end and making the most out of those absolute 6-pointers. So there's a good, feel around the club right now, but I just hope that we've brought the right players in. We've brought in a lot of players, and I don't want us to do a Fulham and, not gel them in time, but also I think there's a good enough team in there. We've got a good squad, so it should be Premier League quality, and I think it will be tight because we always make it tight. It's the Watford way, so I'm just going to take anything above 18th for this season. That's how we go, and Xisco Munoz is going to find it hard, of course. He's not that experienced, but the experience of winning, the last season in terms of winning his goal of getting promoted, is going to do wonders for him. It's going to really give him confidence, and the squad are confident right now. But we have brought in some good players. Joshua King, proven in the Premier League with Bournemouth, great goal scorer. Then you got, obviously, Emmanuel Denise, very nice signing from Club Brugge. Obviously, he's had attitude problems, but at the end of the day, he's a class player on his day. Then Danny Rose, great experience. Obviously, a lot of injury problems and falling out with Mourinho, but when he's getting utilised and when he's got someone like Xisco Munoz to get around him and help him out, really sort him out, then he could get a lot of quality out of him when he gets back fit. And then you've got, obviously, the signing of the very interesting signing, I think, of, well, I say very interesting, it's not really, but the guy brought in from Slovenia, Kuka, I think could be a good one because he's got a lot of international experience and he's, that kind of holding midfielder role that we need to kind of replace Will Hughes if he does leave. So I think there's options in that Watford team. I think we are a bit scared that these options aren't going to cut it quick enough. We need to win games soon because our run at the end of the season is awful. But I think we are good enough to just about stay in the Premier League. And I'm going to say we get 9 wins across the season. We're going to get 4 draws. So actually more draws than Norwich City, but just the same number of wins. And then just 2 less defeats, 25 defeats. So basically, I've gone a bit manic at this point. I've made a crazy table. I've just got a feeling it'll be a crazy season. With fans back, something is in the air, and they'll concede a whopping 75 goals. But the main thing is, we'll have a better goal difference than the Canaries, and more points, of course. I think we'll actually end up scoring 53 goals across the season, and then just like Norwich, concede 70 or more, but we get 75. But it's fine because we score more goals and score 11 more, but that minus 22 goal difference, still not pretty, but it's 31 points. We'll take it. Then, in 16th, we've got Newcastle United. Now, Newcastle are a team that right now are too big to go down as a club, as a fan base, but I do worry that last season they rode their luck a little bit. And when I say that, I think the signings of Willock, the signings of Wilson, they were massive. But if they don't have those signings, I think they get relegated. Honestly, there were some patches in the season where they were in really, really poor form. And right now, the Newcastle attack doesn't fill me with confidence. They haven't really made many signings at all. And that is a problem. Obviously, Martin Dubravka out injured to start the season, so that will be a difficult thing to kind of negotiate. I think Darlow as well might have got COVID or something like that. So maybe even Freddie Woodman has to play. But I don't know. I think right now that what the situation is for Newcastle is get these wins, grind out results and get over the line, because the squad right now is not in the best condition. But I still think they're good enough to stay up. And I think they have a decent enough season, but just not decent enough to get into that kind of midpoint of the first the top half, the second half of the league. So I think 9 wins could be respectable for Newcastle, but I'm going to say 8 wins instead. Looking at Watford instead there, 7 draws, 23 losses, and then scoring 45, conceding 65. That's a minus 20 goal difference and 31 points again. So it's very tight at the final day of relegation scrap. Then 15th place, we've gone for a little bit of Crystal Palace. That's right. In 15th place, we're going with the Eagles. The manager, of course, coming in is a very fascinating one. Patrick Vieira, how will he get on? I don't know, but I think he'll do enough to get them in a 15th spot. I think they'll get 9 wins across the season, 4 draws, 25 losses, scoring 71 goals. Yeah, you heard that right, 71 goals. I'm telling you, Wilfried Zaha and Michael Olise are going to get goals galore. But they're also going to have a defensively awful shambles. 78 conceded. So you just heard me say that actually the team of Crystal Palace will probably score more goals than both the team in third and the team in fourth. They're going to be unbelievable going forward. But defensively, they are going to be a shambles. And they're actually going to concede more than the 3 relegated teams. Alright? I'm going for some big shocks. Go big or go home, that's what I say. So -7 goal difference. And that means they finished again on 31. But with a worse goal difference than the team coming up next. It is Southampton. They're in my 14th place spot. Obviously, with this table, I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. It won't probably finish like that with points, but I'm just having a bit of fun with it. With Southampton, I think that the loss of Danny Ings is really big. They will, really hurt from that. But I think 14th, Southampton fans would take that right now. They have been a bit up and down over the seasons, beating the likes of Liverpool, but then losing, to Man City embarrassingly, losing to Manchester United embarrassingly. You just never quite know with them. But at the end of the day, they'll have a stable season under Hasenhüttl. I think Livramento is a good signing, but they just maybe need to show a bit more ambition going forward. Che Adams needs to have a good season, and I think Theo Walcott as well, going back to his former team on a permanent deal. But 8 wins, in my opinion, 7 draws and 23 defeats for the Saints. And then I've gone for a total of 60 scored, and then 65 conceded. So that's a -5 goal difference. 31 points for Southampton. Right, let's move on then to the next spot in the table. And that position, my friends, is... Here it is, 13th. So who are we saying for the 13th spot? Well, it's a difficult one, to be fair. And I've had a lot of thinking about it. But I'm going to go with the team that is getting a total of 11 wins, as you can see there. They're going to get just 1 singular draw, and they're going to lose 26 games. So this team is going to be leaky. A lot leakier than people are making them out to be. But they're also going to get 11 wins, which is a massive, massive improvement than the other teams down here. And they're going to score 40 goals. So they're going to use their goals wisely. Not score many, but get 11 wins. And then they're going to concede a disgusting 73 goals. Honestly, it's not going to be a pretty season. But they are going to use their goals wisely and get quite a lot of wins. So despite that -33 goal difference, they're going to finish in 13th. And that is Brighton and Hove Albion. They're going to finish on 34 points, in my opinion. Brighton are obviously a team a lot of people like right now. They're backing them for top 10. I'm not feeling it. I think defensively there's still problems there. There are lots of injuries. And they still don't have a massive, forward line, really, that is going to get them, the moments to celebrate. Obviously, Tariq Lamptey, if he was fit, going to be a massive player for them. And also, I think, a few of the signings like Mwepu is not bad. But I think there's a bit more needed for Brighton to finish in that top 10. 12th is up next. And what team am I going for here? Well, it is going to be the team that gets a total of 8 wins across the season. Okay? And they're going to draw 11 games. Okay? And then they're going to lose a pretty horrible 19 matches. So, who is this team, you ask? With a 43 total goals and 61 conceded. That means a -18 goal difference. Well, it is the new manager team, Wolverhampton Wanderers, managed by Bruno Lage. That's right. I'm saying for Wolves this season, they're going to finish in 12th. I think they'll take that, off the back of a very turbulent season with Nuno Espirito Santo. They had enough to stay up, but they were a bit leaky because of injuries and because of a lot of problems. But I think they just want to steer clear of relegation this time. They don't want to, have a sinking ship that goes down even further. And I think that Wolves ultimately have got a good squad. They just need to get a few players back from injury, like Podence, like Pedro Neto. And the signing of Francisco Trincao, I think, is a really nice, transfer. So he's a good option. I think Wolves will finish on 35 points with a -18 goal difference. Right, into 11th spot now. And the team I'm going for here is West Ham United. I think they'll get a total of 12 wins with 0 draws and 26, that's right, 26 defeats. Despite a good season for West Ham, they're going to lose a lot of games. Now, 53 goals scored, 46 conceded, a 7 goal difference, but I think they'll just do enough to kind of get right outside that top 10 in 11th on 36 points. I think West Ham, last season were amazing. I don't think they can keep it up. I think David Moyes will take mid-table right now because they've got Europa League to factor in. They might get fatigued from that. And ultimately, the signings have been, I guess, exciting to an extent, but I think West Ham will want a bit more in terms of their season finish, obviously, but it's hard to sustain, Europa League football. Now, next up, we've got 10th spot. And in 10th position, we're going for the team that finished there last season. It's Everton. It is, of course, the Rafa Benitez Everton that we're talking about here. 12 goals is what I'm saying for the Toffees. And then I'm going to go for a total of 1 draw and 25 losses. 62 scored, 57 conceded, a +5 goal difference, 37 points for Everton. I think they will probably get around that. Now, around that position, yeah, but the points, ignore that. I do think, though, the start of the season is really nice fixtures for Everton. Digne, though, is going to be an interesting one. Can he keep on his attacking threat? Can he keep getting clean sheets? Calvert-Lewin has obviously got a little toe injury. Richarlison is still coming back from the Olympics. They've got a lot of turbulence there, but I think they'll take a mid-table because, under Benitez, they're going to be more defensive and they're going to try to build from the back. Then in 9th place, we've got the team of Leeds United. That's where they finished last season. I'm saying it's going to happen again. Another successful season, in my opinion, for Leeds United and Marcelo Bielsa. Very nice manager. Extremely impressive style of football. And I think their signings actually have been quite good. Firpo is a really nice one. Getting Harrison on a locked-in deal was a really important thing to do. And I just really rate their team right now. Leeds are going in good places. And I think that, some of their, matches this season, they're going to be entertaining, but that's why we like them. 9 goals is going to be not enough to stay up. So instead, they're going to win 9 games. They're going to get 11 draws, in my opinion, and 18 defeats, as you can see just there. So then they're going to score 49 goals with 50 conceded, so -1 goal difference. But it's still a decent tally. In terms of points, it's not. But in terms of the, point of this whole table, it is 38 points. Just, hear me out. It's going to happen because I think there's going to be an absolute crazy season. That's saying Leeds are going to do well, but the table is just going to be messed up, basically. Then into the 8th spot now. And here we're going with Tottenham Hotspur. Ooh, it must sting for those Nuno Espirito Santo fans and for those Tottenham fans. Because, yeah, I'm not saying it. Not even Europa Conference this time. I've got to be honest, it's all down to Harry Kane. If Kane goes, then Spurs will be in trouble, I think. I know Son did well without Kane when he went off and got injured, but I still feel Tottenham, they're not making the right signings. They're not ambitious enough. All right, Gill could be decent, maybe. And I guess Romero could be a nice player, but I just don't see a collective quality right now in that Tottenham team. They need more team spirit. They need more defensive solidity because right now I feel like they are just leaking too many goals. And that's why I'm going to say 8th spot with 11 wins, 14 draws and 13 losses. 51 scored, but 56 conceded. So not a great season for Tottenham. Sitting in mid-table with -5 goal difference and 47 points. One to forget. Now, moving on. It's going to be 7th spot. And this is the team I'm backing to get Europa Conference. Hear me out. Aston Villa. Now, alright, Jack Grealish is out the door. That's a massive blow. And to be fair, I probably would have said Europa League for Aston Villa if they'd have kept Grealish. Because they were amazing last season. Let's not beat around the bush. But they leave out Grealish. They let him go. Fair enough, 100 million. But they've used that 100 million really well. Buendia, quality signing. Obviously, he'll try and be fit for the start of the season. We don't know if that will be the case. But it's still a great signing. Then, Leon Bailey. What a signing. I mean, you think about teams like Arsenal and Liverpool. A few seasons ago, that's one of their marquee signings. He's a quality player from Bayer Leverkusen. So much talent at his young age. And he's going to be absolutely brilliant. Is he the perfect Grealish replacement? Maybe. Now, up front, Ollie Watkins will have another good season. And look at that forward line with Danny Ings in the team. That is going to be lethal. So at the end of the day, Villa have done everything right in the transfer window. Emi Martinez was fantastic last season. Can he do it again? We'll find out. But I just think Villa are going to have a great season and surprise people by getting that Europa Conference spot ahead of Tottenham, who I just think haven't shown as much, ability to fill in the missing pieces of their team in their squad, whereas Villa have actually dealt with those chances and dealt with those missing kind of pieces in the puzzle. So talking of pieces of the puzzle, we'll talk about that in a bit, but 10 wins in my opinion for Villa, 17 draws, so it's not going to be a great season in terms of wins, but 11 defeats, 58 scored, 49 conceded, that's 9 goal difference plus, and 47 points. Still, not a great season, but on the table, just go with the flow. Now, we get to the juicy bit. It's that Europa League spot. 6th place, we're going for Arsenal. Now, will it be St Tottering's Day this year? And what I mean by St Tottering's Day is one finishing above the other. Who's going to say it? But I'm going to go with Arsenal because I think this season, without any European football to focus on, they're going to, get through the games and win the games. That's as simple as that, really. And I think their signings have been pretty decent. Ben White is exactly what they needed, a ball-playing centre-back. It's perfect for me. And I think up front, Lacazette and Aubameyang, they're still decent, even if they had a few, problems with consistency last season. And I think that, the midfield is a little bit of an interesting one, but with Saka, I think he's going to bounce back from the Euro final. And the same with Smith Rowe, I think he's going to have a really good season. So why not? I think Arsenal will be capable at least of getting Europa League. Champions League probably quite a few seasons away, but they'll take that certainly to finish above Tottenham. So 13 wins, 12 draws and 13 defeats for me. 61 scored, 41 conceded. So actually one of the best defences in the league this season in my opinion. But it doesn't mean it will start off that easy, but it could go really well. And then they will get 20 goal difference and 51 points. And then 5th, we're going for Leicester City. That's right, they are just going to finish out the top 4 again. Deja vu, 15 wins, 10 draws, 13 defeats, 48 goals, 40 conceded, and 8 goal difference, 55 points. It's going to be only 4 points above Arsenal. Then, who's getting that Champions League spot? I'm going for Liverpool in 4th. So, 18 wins, 9 draws, 11 defeats, 59 goals, 39 conceded. It's going to be a pretty dodgy season for Liverpool, but they'll be within a shout of the title race at one point in the season. Then it will kind of fizzle out. And despite that, decent tally of 59 goals. I mean, it's pretty bad for a 4th place team, but 20 plus goal difference and 63 points. Just 2 points above this. So that means, of course, Leicester missing out on the top 4 by 8 points. But then in 3rd, it's going to be Manchester United. I think they'll have a genuine title challenge this season, and it'll be a 3-horse race, pretty much, there or thereabouts, or 4-horse if Liverpool are in it. But 19 wins for Liverpool 18 wins. Then we said 19 wins for Man United, 8 draws and 11 defeats. 67 scored, 43 conceded. They'll be much better at the back with Rafael Varane in there once he's fully fit and ready to go. And generally I think Man United will have a much improved season, plus 24 goal difference and 65 points. United fans, watch out, 3rd place is coming. Now 2nd, who is going to just miss out on the title? I'm going for it. It's Chelsea. I hope I would have said Man City there, but I just can't see it. Man City, man, are just too good. So Chelsea, they'll have a great season off the back of winning the Champions League. Tuchel is a class manager, there's no doubting it. And actually their signings have been alright, but they could be even better if they get in Romelu Lukaku. Now, he looked absolutely brilliant for Inter Milan last season, and he could be that kind of missing piece because they've looked for a striker for so long. Timo Werner's been dodgy. They need that number 9 who's going to get goals, and he could be the one. So let's wait on that one, but it looks like it could be really nearly done. And also Messi, we thought about him going to Man City, but it's not going to happen. It's PSG realistically, but to be fair, what a front three. Mbappe, Neymar and Messi. I mean, it's like MSN all over again, but just MMN this time. But anyway, going back to Manchester City and Chelsea debate, I think Chelsea will just fall short, but they will really give a good test of Man City. 22 wins for Chelsea, 7 draws, 9 defeats, and 75 scored in the season. So that is showing how clinical Chelsea will be. and only 41 conceded. So they actually concede less goals than Man City, but 34 plus goal difference and then 73 points. So my Manchester City are my Premier League champions. I say my Man City. My Premier League champions are City. They're too good right now. They're dominant, right? They're the dominant force in English football. And I think, unfortunately, it's going to stay that way for a while. But this title race is going to be much more exciting. And City, they're a ridiculous team right now. They've invested so well. Although it's a lot of money, they've done it well. And they've brought in some amazing players. But is Jack Grealish worth 100 million? I'm not sure. Paul Pogba was worth like 100 million. So, yeah, alright. But Grealish has been amazing. Fair enough. He was a big player in the Euros. And, yeah, Villa just didn't want to cuff him up. So that's what it came to, really. If you add that to Harry Kane, then fair enough. It will be interesting to see what happens with Martinez as well from Inter Milan, because if he goes to Tottenham, then maybe that opens up the move for Harry Kane to Man City and vice versa. So I think Kane going into that team, City have won the league by 30 points. But at this point, we're winning it by 10 points. Keep saying we're. Man City, sorry. So 38 games, obviously, across the season. 25 wins for City. So it's pretty decent for a title-winning side. 8 draws and 5 defeats. So 5 defeats isn't great for a title-winning team, but it's still the least across all teams in the season. Everyone else has a stinker. 83 goals. Again, not a lot for a title-winning season, but you're looking at someone like Leicester City, that kind of season. 42 conceded, 41 goal difference, and 83 points. So Manchester City are my Premier League champions for next season. Let's see how right I am. As I said, the points and the wins were just a bit of a joke. It's all about the positions. Can we get that nailed on? But I'm saying top scorer, Edinson Cavani. That's right. That's what we're going for. With a whopping 27 goals. United will have a good title challenge, but they'll just fall short, and Cavani will be their main man getting most of their goals. Then, Playmaker Award, most assists, is going to be Mason Mount. I think Chelsea will go so close, 10 points to Manchester City, and Mason Mount will be a key part of that, racking up the assists and getting that midfield influence, bit like his big idol, Frank Lampard. Then, Player of the Season, PFA Player of the Season, it's another risk, but I'm going for it, Riyad Mahrez. I think City will have a great season, he's going to have a great season, simple as that. Young Player of the Season, it's another big one, but Callum Hudson-Odoi. Chelsea will really push Man City to the last, and they're going to use some of their youth. At the end of the day, Tuchel is not that, unfair for the players, and actually he lets everyone have a go. He's going to rotate, and Hudson-Odoi is going to get some minutes. So, if he does, and he should do, if he doesn't, he'll go to probably a smaller club. Maybe, who knows, he could absolutely shine as a big fish in a small pond, and then still get PFA Player of the Season, Young Player of the Season, but no, probably not. Let's just say he has a blinder, and Hudson-Odoi is one to remember, because he's still so young and he's still got so much quality. And then Golden Glove, we're going for Ederson. It's an obvious pick, isn't it? Because City are just so good. Chelsea and City, the best defences, in my opinion, also the best attacks right now, if Haaland or Lukaku comes in, and Grealish is just a joke, really. So, yeah, those are my predictions for the season. The only other thing to say, I guess, is fair play to Leicester. Good win against Man City. They did well. But I think that the Foxes will miss out on the Champions League, which will be a gutting blow for them, really, when you think about it. But that's the way it goes. We're also going to squeeze in, actually, whilst we're here, because, we might as well, so we don't forget about it. We're going to talk to you people about a little thing called the Premier League scoring across all season. I'm joking. I'm not going to go through the whole season now. Who needs to do that? But just listen to my Premier League predictions videos, and then you will see I will predict scorers for every game. Well, at least every game that I can, and hopefully get every single score and every single goal across the season right. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for my Premier League predictions. Thanks for watching this one. I shall see you next time. Get your predictions down below.